Hello everyone, and welcome to the Tuesday webinar. Here's Kat. She's just waving to you. She's going to be on the chat for the whole session. So if you've got any questions, or she'll mark them up for you, and she'll look after you if you've got any issues with the webinar. Okay, Kat, so I'll see you later. So yeah, just say hi on the chat, tell us where you're from, and we'll get straight onto it. Okay, so this is the review of the Saturday of ISCO. Okay, this was the 10th of October. There's some fantastic presenters, and what we're going to do in the next 50 minutes or so is we're going to give you like a kind of overview of the day. We're going to show you some video clips. I haven't seen them yet. Kat's done some mini promo videos for each of the presenters. I haven't seen them, because I'll be excited to see them as you are. Just a little bit about ISCO and plans for next week, because next week we're going to do the final Sunday, and that will wrap up the Tuesday webinars that we've been running after ISCO. And we've got some exciting things coming up. We're going to have a return of the observed treatment sessions. I'll tell you all about that later on. Okay, so let's go straight on with the webinar. It's lovely to see so many people here from all over the world. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so welcome to the Saturday review. What we've done is after each of the after the ISCO 2020, what we've done is we've given ourselves deadlines to get all of the material up online for you, so you can access it 24/7. So by today, all the videos will be up for the Friday and the Saturday. And I'm just going to show you around a bit and show you what kind of treats you've got in store on the online site. And I'll also show you later on how to get there. So we're going to do a little bit of a background to ISCO. We're going to introduce all the Saturday ISCO presenters, say a little bit of thanks to the team at New Energy Work, show you how you can access those recordings and what they look like, and give you a little bit of news, have a bit of time for question and answer. Okay, so that's what we've got in store for you. Okay, so yeah, ISCO 2020, we had 780 people register for the live event. We've actually got over 800 people registered for these Tuesday webinars, so more people are coming on board all the time. We've now got 2,100 members on New Energy Work, which is absolutely fantastic. And as you may know, since COVID, since the pandemic, we've put all of our paid content out free just to help the World Shiatsu community. And we're surviving. So far, we've survived purely by donations to pay for all of our bills. So that's the background to ISCO 2020. It's not the first time we've done it. We did one in 2012. Can you believe it? Okay, so let's just find out quickly whether you attended the ISCO 2020, the live event on the 9th, 10th and 11th of October, just to get a feel of how many you made it. Maybe you just came to one day, maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days, or maybe you couldn't get to the live event, which is probably why you're here now. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have quite a few of you. And look at that, nearly half of you couldn't get to the live event, and that's why we're doing these Tuesday webinars, and why we're getting all the material up for you online. Okay, and well done to a quarter of you came to all 3 days. So that's awesome. It was really good fun, wasn't it? We really enjoyed it. Okay, so let's start off with introducing you to the presenters that we were lucky enough to have working with us on that Saturday. We had a terrific day. We started off the day very early for UK time, and I know many of you from all around the world. We had the lovely Suzanne Yates, who I've known for many years. I met her in one of the early Kiental workshops way back that Wilfred organised in Kiental. I met Suzanne there, and of course I know her through the whole Shiatsu scene. We often miss each other in different places when we're teaching. And you may know that she's the founder of Well Mother in Bristol, which is an amazing project. And she doesn't just work with women, she works with babies and families, and she's involved in the whole pregnancy and childbirth thing. So she's a real expert on that. She's written a couple of books, which I recommend on that, and she's got her own website and everything. All those things are linked to on the online site. So if you want to follow up any of the presenters, then you'll have all the links you need when you go onto the online site on New Energy Work. Okay, but also you probably might know that Suzanne is very interested in the extraordinary vessels, and that was what she did her presentation on the Saturday of ISCO. She did a presentation on the stepping vessels, and here's a clip from the video that she made, and she played that video on her presentation. So she did some live stuff on camera, and she played a few videos that she'd made in advance in her garden. You can see that. So she taught us all about the stepping vessels, how they fit with extraordinary vessels, and how they're important because they allow us to adapt to change, and to kind of engage with the moment, which of course we all really need that at the moment, don't we? So they're very topical. And she did a practical session as well, which I really enjoyed. I was walking around, I was stepping around here, just behind me here, having a lot of fun with the stepping vessels. So yeah, it was really good fun. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pop my camera off, and I'm going to play the video that Kat has organized for us. So here we are.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for inviting me, Cliff. And actually, that's a nice image to start with, the walking from the teaching space in Kiental in the beautiful Swiss mountains to present our workshops, because the stepping vessels is all about walking, stepping, coming into the present moment, moving from the yin to the yang. So it's quite a good one for starting in the morning. And adapting to change. Also, it's regulating the day-to-day movement, and especially when things are constantly changing in the outer world.
Close your eyes and just feel how your whole body's been stimulated through these simple movements and through your awareness of the different parts of your body.
I am fully present in each moment.
We've got a question from Emma. Any signs to look for in a client that would indicate we should work the stepping vessels? So how would you spot that?
So there's a connection between the feet and the arms, which are now free, and the brain, which is a core part of the extraordinary vessels. And obviously the brain is important because it's how do we integrate this information that's coming in.
But then you can start doing the movement. So moving your body to get the stepping action with your partner. You could stay even longer doing that. You could sense, do you want to be doing stepping or more still? And then we can connect with the points.
The regulating point pairs with the regulating point of another vessel, so that the chow pair with the governing and conception vessels.
But the idea of the stepping is it's very much about movement. So we're not going to be standing still. I want you to feel the connection of moving from your heel, sometimes it's known as the heel vessel, and then feel how that movement comes into your pelvis.
Great. I tell you what, Suzanne, walking is never going to be the same again for me now. I can tell you that. It's been a great pleasure, and I hope we meet face to face.
Yeah, in real space. Yeah.
Okay, so you can see how much fun that was. We had a lot of fun with Suzanne, and she was great at answering questions. You can see there really is a lot of content there, and she linked it with a lot of the other extraordinary vessels. So really worth checking out. And really, I would allow yourself a good hour to check into her video and be prepared to move about. Really make the most of that. I ought to mention that we have got a forum on the New Energy Work online area for ISCO. So if you've got any questions about anything, then we encourage you to post some questions up, and we'll try and answer them ourselves, or we'll try and get the presenters in. We're going to try and keep that open for a few weeks while we're still getting people looking at the asynchronous event. Okay, so there we go, Suzanne Yates. What a great time we had. It was a really good way to start the morning off. Really good. Okay. all these videos are going to be on the online site on New Energy Work, and I'm going to show you later how you can access them. Okay, so here we go. Next up, we had Philippe Vandenabeele, who's really amazing guy. Really enjoyed meeting him, and I've heard a lot about him because Dinah, who's in our team, is editing his book at the moment because she's a professional editor as well as everything else she's doing. And she said, "Oh, Philippe is really cool. You're going to enjoy meeting him." And she was absolutely right. He's a fascinating guy. He lives between Belgium and Japan, although he's mainly settled in Japan now. He's got his own school there, which he calls the Shinzu Bodywork International Institute. And he's the founder of that in Japan. And the interesting thing about Philippe is he's got a background in many different types of Eastern and Western bodywork approaches. He's really studied it in great depth, both the Western and the Eastern approach. So it was really interesting talking to him. And here's just a little snapshot of his presentation, which he chose to do on the art Anpuku. Now, certainly from my point of view as a Zen Shiatsu practitioner, I don't do too much Anpuku, but I must say I'm really interested in developing it after his presentation. It was really fascinating because he showed us all these old books, these really old books, and he's got the original old books from Japan that documented how to do Anpuku therapy. And what he's done is he compiled it all. He studied also with masters of Anpuku therapy in Japan, and he's compiling it all into the most wonderful looking book, which of course will definitely feature on New Energy Work as soon as it's published. It was also a practical session towards the end. We did some practical work, lying down and pressing ourselves, doing some Anpuku therapy. It's really interesting. So yeah, let's just have a look at the little video that Kat put together and see what we can see about Philippe's presentation. We're having a great time here at ISCO 2020. Philippe, he's actually in Japan. Really looking forward to your presentation, Philippe, because you're going to be introducing us to Anpuku.
We can move the hands on the lower part of the rib cage. And here we take a deep breath under our hands. We expand the lower parts of the rib cage. My Shiatsu teachers, they were talking about Anpuku. And actually the main thing we saw was like a wave movement you make on the hara. Oh, yeah. And that was called the Anpuku technique. The nice thing about this later translation is that they have done it the old way. So I will try to show you. So the pages are folded, as you see.
Oh, wow.
That's the old way of doing it.
Just to start off, do you use Anpuku in your work? That's treating the hara directly.
He's reading the book.
Yes.
With the other hand, he's showing his daughter, you should press like this. And then the daughter is working probably along one of the points in the legs.
Yes, great. It's a lovely picture, isn't it?
So then we can bring the middle finger towards the navel. So you feel your navel. And then you glide 2 units towards the side. 2 kun towards the side. There we have stomach 25. Central pivot. Point who is connected to the Big Dipper. And I was very curious about it because we learned the hara diagnosis. Yeah. And I wanted to know more techniques on the belly because it is said that the hara or the belly is the main energetic center in our body.
True. Yeah. Okay, goodbye, and thank you so much. Really enjoyed it. It was brilliant.
Take care. Bye.
Okay, wow, what a revelation that was. It was absolutely amazing. It's just opened a completely new world for me. Yeah, so how about that? That was just so much fun. That was a really, really good session with Philippe. And as you can see, we had a lot of fun, a lot of practical work. And I must say, it made a lot more sense to me at the end, Dampuku. Very energetic based work, using points and making connections in the body. Really, really enjoyed that. Okay, so after Philippe, let's see what we had next. We had Michel Odoul. So Michel, he actually did a webinar for us, if you remember, as part of our European Shiatsu Congress webinars that we did in partnership with the ESC. We started actually last year. And we did monthly webinars all the way through. And Michel Odoul was one of those. And I knew it was going to be fun talking and working with him again. And it was. Just a little bit of background. He actually started Shiatsu training very early on. He's been doing it for a long period of time. And he studied with Nakazono Sensei, a Japanese teacher in France, and then subsequently with many other teachers. He's written an interesting book called Tell Me Where It Hurts and I'll Tell You Why, where he links lots of different modalities, but it's mainly Shiatsu really, to why pain occurs in the body and how we can understand it. And he's founded his own institute of Shiatsu, the Institut Français de Shiatsu, if that's any good. Any French people can tell me what my accent's really like. And here's a shot of one of the most interesting bits I've found, which is he went through a whole purification practice that he learned in the Nakazono Sensei's style of Shiatsu. Because he's Japanese, his teacher actually did have purification practice based on sound. And I've done quite a bit of sound work myself when I was working on the vibrational levels theory and practice. And I've also studied some sounds with Paul Lumberg and with Kishi. And so it's very interesting to see, go a bit more deeper in, because he linked it with different aspects of the 5 elements and different ways of sounding out the syllables. It was very, very interesting. Okay, so we'd have a look at the clip, but I really recommend that you take some time to look through the whole of Michel Odoul's presentation if you're interested in doing it. And we actually, both of us were there with everyone at home as well, all over around the world, chanting, it was a lot of fun. So here's the video, and see what you think. Okay, so it's really great to see you again, Michel. We had so much fun on that European Shiatsu Congress webinar. I really love that. I read your book, it's really good.
I am a lucky man because on the way of my life, I met a Japanese master who was called Nagasono Masahiro Sensei. Mm-hmm. He was an Aikido master. Ueshiba Sensei sent him with 2 other masters in France to teach Aikido. Maybe 3 persons, because he thought we have much work. That French people need 3 teachers. Because Kototama is called also the 50 sounds of life.
Okay, so this is the creative one, the one that creates life, yeah.
The cycle of
creating.
Yes, the cycle of creating.
Yes.
The cycle of creating, and this one is the cycle of control.
Control.
Life can increase through the cycle of creating. It needs to come to be balanced, the cycle of control.
Let's do it.
Okay. So first time. So Nakasono sensei doing a special technique I will speak about, which is called misogi, which is misogi means in Japanese purification, cleaning of selves. And in that way, he thought that if during your work you are able to give sense to what the patient is living,
Le livre de la vie, the
yes,
book of life.
Books, Inoki life, the book of life.
It's great to do some practical chanting work, and it's opened my eyes and my ears, but particularly I've really started to understand now the whole system behind it. I only had a little glimpse of it before. I really want to thank you for that. It's been really a revelation. You can see just how much fun there was, and thank you, Kat, for editing some of me chanting there with him. I love that. Yeah, we had a lot of fun chanting together, and yeah, if we go deeper into it, I really recommend that presentation. It was it was a really good fun and a really good time. And you probably heard him, you might have heard him just sort of going off camera a little bit and someone else speaking. That was because he had a translator with him who was helping him out. Sometimes he didn't know the exact English words, but I thought he did absolutely great with his English myself. I didn't think there was a problem at all. Okay, so let's move on to the next presenter. And next up, we had the lovely Antigoni Tsegeli. Antigoni Tsegeli. Sorry, Antigoni, I'm pronouncing all these different people's names now. Philippe's was the most difficult one. I leave that to Dinah. Antigoni I've known for many, many years. She's studied with us here at New Energy Work many times. She's a lovely person, and she's also a great presence in the Hellenic Shiatsu Society. She does a lot of work for promoting Shiatsu in Greece. She studied in Zen Shiatsu and in medical Qigong, and she studied lots of other things as well. So it was really great to have her on the Congress. So she decided to do a presentation on meta skills, and she was a little bit nervous because it was her very first webinar, but do you know what? She was so cool. She was absolutely very professional, really well organized. She had great slides and a really good presentation. You can see just from this screenshot here just how enthusiastic and engaged she was in her presentation. So the whole thing really was about deepening our listening. There was quite a lot of practical work on focusing, which is similar to clean language. Clean language came out of focusing. So that was really interesting connection with Nick and Margot's work, which we presented on the Friday. So yeah, Antigoni, what a lovely session. So let's see what we've got on our mini video clip of this.
So we are on air.
I was going to say welcome, officially welcome, Antigoni. It's so wonderful to have you on ISCO.
In the last 6 years, I chose this intuitively for my personal development. I said to Nick Paul once that my inspiration was when I had the first course with Nick, and I read his book. I resonated with something that I always was looking for. What is happening in the healing process? The change of temperature in your skin. And then again, you bring your attention to the ankles.
Yes, not judging it.
I don't want to change it, exactly. And
yes,
as I hold all this interaction, the next change step is coming. And then the third one, it's the felt sense, which is the heart of the focusing process. And
yes.
I will explain what is it. And all this,
Great.
it's happening in the energy inside the body. We call it ki, or living forward energy, because the body is interaction.
Okay, I'm ready. Yeah, I've chosen mine.
And from that moment that the felt sense is carrying something forward, something, the next movement is, he concluded all this, that every bad feeling is potential energy towards a more right way of being, if you give it the space to move towards its rightness.
And I really, really appreciate that ability to pause. I think it's such a lost art to pause and just be there, because we're always rushing for solutions, rushing, panicking, rushing. And that was such a wonderful, beautiful thing to experience, that pausing. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, the answers are at the pause.
The answer is in the pause. Wasn't that great? That's a great thing to take away from that. And as you can see, we did lots of practical work, really worth your time, I think, taking an hour out when you've got some time and just listening to, or just experiencing that whole session. I thought the thing that really stayed with me during the session was how, just by creating a presence and connecting with the pain or with the difficulty, just giving it space and acknowledging it means that there's space for it to transform. And that was something that Antigoni really demonstrated really well in the practical exercises. We had so much fun. Thank you so much, Antigoni, for that. It was really good fun. Okay, so next after Antigoni, we had the Shiatsu Research Network. Okay, so this was an absolutely packed and informative webinar. They were so well organized. I have to give them total credit. They were completely professional. There were 4 of them, and we linked them up across the globe. So there was always that technical side, trying to get all of them together. Lisa was in Canada, and they were all kind of scattered all over the place. But they came together, and they're a unique group of Shiatsu practitioners that have done so much since 2017 to help present Shiatsu using their scientific research. And I learned so much in that hour. The 4 of them worked really well together. They did 2 shifts. One, Sturgios and Christina started off the first round, as it were, and Lisa and Sandy then took over for the second half. Okay, I'll just give you a couple of screenshots before we watch the video that Kat put together to give you a bit of a taste of what went on. Okay, now look, this is Sturgios here talking about evidence-based medicine, and I learned a lot about this because I'd always kind of imagined, probably a lot of people imagine, that evidence-based medicine is mainly based on double-blind trials and things like that, but not at all. It was very interesting to see this particular slide, which is the 3 components of evidence-based medicine. And you can see from that that research evidence is only 1/3 of the 3 areas that come together, because we have patients' preferences and actions. And as I said to Sergios during the webinar, this is where Shiatsu has got a very great strength, because of course people love having Shiatsu and they're very enthusiastic about it. Clinical state and circumstances is the top part of the circle that interacts, and that's something that we can also contribute to research, as we found out later in the presentation. And both those 2 circles go in with research evidence to create clinical expertise. And it really did broaden, I think, everyone's view who watched that webinar that they did for us as that presentation in ISCO. Here's Lisa. I met Lisa in Vienna at the European Shiatsu Congress in Vienna. She's absolutely great. She's in Canada, she works and she travels all over the world. And she's a Namakoshi trained Shiatsu practitioner. She works in the world's biggest integrated health center in Canada. And she's really quite important in research there. So she's got a fantastic amount of expertise. And it's so wonderful to have someone of that caliber in such a really amazing sort of beacon of hope, really, to have integrated health with Shiatsu placed within one integrated health facility. It just sounds amazing the way she talks about it. So she's talking about different measurement tools there on this particular slide that I took, but what they really were talking about, apart from that, was how you can generate your own clinical experience, case histories, and how they can contribute to all of that evidence. And again, it really opened my eyes to what we can do individually to help Shiatsu become more accepted. So let's have a look at the video clip and see what we've got in store for you here. I'll just load that up and we'll just pause while it loads. And here they are, right on cue. Look at that.
It was one of my teachers in the Shiatsu school that instilled in me the belief that Shiatsu is medicine.
And I want to read to you the sentence so that you get an idea how an objective can look like. So the current manuscript is a retrospective case report examining the outcomes of a 32-year-old woman with fibromyalgia after a course of massage therapy intended to reduce her pain and improve her ability to participate in life activities. So that's an example how to describe quite short the objective of the whole situation.
How you can start with case reports. Usually you already treated your client several times before you realize, yes, this is an interesting case. Mm-hmm. So the important point is that you get your practice organized in advance. Mm.
About 10 years ago, I was in the house of a massage colleague of mine, while a second member of the household was ill. Nothing special, just seasonal flu. I offered to provide a Shiatsu session, and during the treatment, I was explaining to both of them what I was doing and why. After finishing the session and leaving the house together, the colleague commented, "Wow, this is not just relaxing. You can really help someone who is sick."
If you look at the statistics, most days are lost because people are depressed, they've got no meaning in their life, they've lost contact with themselves, and they are complex issues that Shiatsu and other alternative methods are very good at addressing.
There are a number of others. So the neuro quality of life measures patients' ability to participate in social activities and social roles. And the National Institute of Health Toolbox for Meaning and Purpose can be quite helpful.
Sometimes it happens that that experience does not justify what we have just learned. And then we maybe question our skills or we maybe question the knowledge that has been transferred to us.
But we didn't have a Shiatsu case report as an example for you because there isn't any, and maybe you are the first to write one.
It's just been such a great pleasure to see all four of you. It's been so great. Thank you so much. And I think the whole Shiatsu world really owes you a debt of gratitude for your, for all the work you do.
And they're always looking for information to publish. So if you write a case report or do any other sort of research, you can write a short summary article to have published with them as well.
Okay, fantastic. Wasn't that interesting? I really, really enjoyed that. It was a real eye-opener. And thank you so much to the Shiatsu Research Network for see how engaged they were in that presentation. They were just totally with it, full on the whole time, and so much information. We learned all about evidence-based medicine, and you probably gathered from that clip that we also learned a lot of practical skills of how we can write up case histories, because case reports are the foundation of the whole, which I didn't realize myself. The case reports are like a foundation, which then, once they're published, then encourage larger studies to take place on particular specific issues. So I really encourage you, if you've got an opportunity to engage with them, they'll help you out, I'm sure, to write a case study that could be published, that can start off a whole chain of events that can get Shiatsu recognized for treating types of clients and also for specific conditions. A real eye-opener, it really was, and it was great to see all of them together, working so well together. Really modeled the whole thing really well. Okay, so what did we have? We had, to finish off the day, we had Diego Sanchez, again, of a good friend of New Energy Work. In fact, Diego, believe it or not, presented on ISCO 2012, if I remember rightly. So yeah, that was 8 years ago. We know Diego because he graduated from the Shiatsu College, which is the school that I set up with Paul Umberg and Nicola and Carola back in the 80s. He studied in London, in the London branch. And also I know him through Pauline because he helped create the DVD that Pauline produced. So I've met Diego many times over the years, and it was great to have him on ISCO. He's been teaching Shiatsu for over 20 years now. Oh my goodness. He lives in Uruguay, and it was great to have him contribute from Uruguay to ISCO. It made it really an international event. And of course, you're probably familiar with his work. He's taught over Europe, throughout Europe quite a lot. So there's a good chance you may have been on a workshop with him. Okay, so what Diego decided to do was present at ISCO 2020 with the work that he got from Pauline. Towards the end of Pauline's life, she developed a whole sequence of ways in which we can connect the meridians to the chakras. And he talked a lot about the rights of the chakras, and we just quite a lot of exercises as well, meditation exercises. It was, again, very practical, and we really enjoyed ourselves. It was really good fun. So let's have a little mini clip of that and just see, you'll get an idea of what we got up to on his presentation. Diego, we've known each other for quite a number of years now.
Since my training at the Shiatsu College. This is when we were shooting that documentary. And when I was there, she was already working in very far out aspects of the energetics of doing Shiatsu. What she was working with, she was always trying to bring it back to the theory of Shiatsu, or Zen Shiatsu mostly, but she had studied with Kishi and other teachers that were more into the energetics. This is when we were shooting in Uruguay. She came over to my country.
Oh yes, because you're in Europe.
Yeah, it was amazing.
You're in Europe.
But you don't have to be standing, but it's a good way, because I always mention this, why is kidney 1 called bubbling spring? As we all know, it has a very downward action in the body. It's like something, when we need to bring the energy down, we use kidney 1. But let's see now, isn't that a contradiction with the name of bubbling spring? Isn't it amazing when you press a subo somewhere and then you get feedback from the other person that's like, oh, that's great, or this is made me connect with this and this and that. And that is confirmation that what we are doing is felt.
Yes, true. That's also the case in the Indian Vedic theory that, you know, once you get above this chakra, it becomes more multidimensional. It becomes less three-dimensional. So that kind of fits with that theory as well, the Indian theory, yeah.
Energy is movement, and this is what defined Pauline's yes and no's. Okay. Now we're going to say, just make a mental note of what sensations came up for you when you said, I exist.
Thanks so much for the practical work. That was really good. It's a really good change of activity.
My pleasure. We're nothing in this field if we don't practice what we preach.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And just see how much fun we have with that. And yeah, I think it's really worth, again, taking some time to look at the presentation. Diego will take you through some very interesting exercises, as you saw I was doing there, with whether you have the right to exist. It's all very, very deep stuff, but it was a lot of fun too. So that was really, really, really good fun. And that was it. Yeah, that was the Saturday. Wow, what a day we had. It was amazing. Okay, and before we go any further, I just want to outline the team roles. You can imagine, especially trying to get something like the Shiatsu Research Network all on all online, all with the video and audio working all at once. And that was Shakura's job. She was like literally texting, WhatsApping, calling the whole time to make sure everyone came and left at the right time. We had everything down in a great big sort of like chart, and she was like on it. And then Dinah, Kat and Basti, they were working the whole time as well. They were looking after the chat, and they just did like a relay thing, looking after the chat, answering questions, and again, supporting the whole thing. So it took 5 of us full time over those 3 days to keep the whole show on the road. And now it's not ended, of course, because basically since ISCO finished, we've been full on creating the online resource. I'll show you how to get into that. I saw a few people in the chat thinking that they couldn't find it. It's not just on the website. You have to go into the online teaching environment, and I'll show you how to do that later. And what we've been doing as well is we've been doing some quizzes so that you can get CPD or CE points if you complete the asynchronous online ISCO. We've put a forum up as well, so if you've got any questions, you can ask us and we'll try and answer them, or we'll try and get the presenters, if we can, to come on the forum as well. Kat, as you can see, has been busy, very, very busy editing the videos. She's been putting them up on the online site, and she's also, obviously, if you saw the video clips that she's done of the little highlights of each presentation. Okay, so yeah, we're doing all this work for you so that we can load it up as an asynchronous. That means you can go there anytime, watch the videos, and if you need the CPD CE certification, then by next Tuesday, we hope to have the whole thing completed with the certificate up, so you can go through it and in your own time, complete the whole of ISCO, and you can have a certificate to prove it as well, that you can show your national organization. Okay, so I just want to say thank you to the team for that. Okay, so how do you get into ISCO Online? Okay, it's not just on the website, it's not just on the surface of the website, it's actually in our online e-learning environment, which contains all of our online courses, including one on Shiatsu the Scientific Basis, which has got some stuff from the SRN. It's also got a link to, unless I'm completely wrong, it's got a link to Zoe's research. I saw that Zoe was in the chat. She did an absolutely awesome piece of work on Shiatsu in a deprived community with really, really good outcomes. It's really worth looking at. That's the Shiatsu Scientific Basis course. If you haven't explored new energy work online resources yet, I really encourage you to do that. And what you can see here is, on here is a screenshot of the New Energy Work site, which you've probably gone to looking for the videos and can't find them. Now, if you look in the top right-hand corner there, you can see sign in, okay? And that's what you need to do to be let in to the amazing world of New Energy Work learning online, because once you sign in, you will go into an incredible world of years of work and hundreds of hours of CPD-CE stuff, which was all paid content until earlier this year when the pandemic struck. And we made the radical decision to put all of our paid content out free to the Shiatsu community, because we know that lots of you are having a really tough time, as indeed some of us are here, because we can't see so many clients. We had to work online completely during the lockdown, so we know it's tough out there. We thought it was the best thing to do was to just open everything up free. And what we've done is we've managed to survive so far just by generous donations from those of you who could support us. Okay, so yeah, you have to sign in, and if you sign in and you've not registered yet, then you'll have to register. In fact, there's on the website, if you look on the website and you just scroll down, it says join as a free member, and if you're not already a member, you can just join as a free member there. Okay, but you do need to join, and you need to sign in to get to all of the resources. So next Tuesday is the final review Tuesday. So we did Friday last week and we did Saturday just now. We're doing it now, and then next Tuesday we hope to get, as long as we can get everything done, we'll have it already completed, and what we'll do is we'll take you through the Sunday. We'll have some more little video clips of the Sunday, the final day, and which is another fascinating day as well. And then we'll give you an overview of the whole thing, just a final overview. And then we'll go on to some of other exciting stuff that we've got in store for you. Right, okay, so yes, look, once you sign in, people, okay, you'll see an ISCO 2020 online course. You'll click through that, and then you'll see something like this, because we're building it all the time. And you can see that all of the presenters have their own area on the online course. There you will find the videos, you'll find links, you'll find the slides that you can download so you can have a look through them at your leisure. And you can see we've made a really good start here. We've got the whole team working on this. You can see we've got stuff up for most of the people now. And you can see you can click it down and you can see all the different things underneath each of the presenters. Okay, and that's how it works once you get in. Okay, if you have any problems and you really can't find your way into the site, then please let us know and we'll help you get in. Okay, so yeah, that's what it looks like. And as I say, we're getting there, we're getting it all up. And there's a bit of a zoom in so you can see like all of the presenters and what it looks like when you pull down the menus there. Okay, now, it's such a great resource. Are you going to log in? Or maybe you already have, if you already. And we just thought we'd find out from poll 2, will you be logging on to ISCO 2020 now that you know how to get there? Let's find out. Okay, because obviously we don't want to spend weeks and weeks of our time creating something if you're not going to go on to it. Okay, so most of you, well over 90%, are intending to log on. So that's absolutely great. And it'll be there for you until further notice. It's going to be like a continuous online resource. The forum will be active. We'll probably keep it active for maybe a month or 6 weeks or something like that. And then we'll transfer the discussions onto the main forum at New Energy Work. Okay. Now, have you already got a registration for New Energy Work? You may have been one of our professional members or our student members that have carried on their membership. You may be a free member. We've got 2,100 members now. So I think there's a good chance that you are already a member, but let's find out. Let us know, are you already a member? In other words, have you got a login to the New Energy Work site? Okay, and some of you are not sure. Well, the best thing to do is to find out is to go on there and try and sign in. And if you can't remember your password, it will prompt you to get a new password reset. If you really can't get on, then you'll have to ask us and we'll help you to get on, okay? And those of you who are not members yet, it's totally free to join. All you need to do is go to newenergywork.com, click on where it says join as a new member, just make up a password with your email, and then you'll have access to all of our previously paid content. So, yep, there's a lot of material out there for you to watch. Okay, so I just want to say thank you to all the presenters of ISCO, especially the Saturday ones, and we'll do some more thank yous next time. And also, of course, we want to say thank you to all our donators as well, because it literally wouldn't be possible without you. I mean, these platforms that we use, we had 1,000 places available for the ISCO, and they were 8-hour presentations. That is an expensive platform to finance. And luckily we are doing okay, but if you'd like to be a donator, if you can help us, and you haven't donated yet, I know lots of you already have, then I'll just share the link with you, and you can click on it and help us out. You can also go to the New Energy Work site as well, and there's a donate link right there as well. Okay. I expect most of you probably already donated yet, but I'll leave that up for a little while. Okay, so here we go. Let's see, we've got a few more slides and then we can all go home and have our dinner. Okay, we've got some exciting news, okay? I'm just going to get rid of the donate link. Thank you very much for anyone who clicked on that. And if you would like to donate anytime, newenergywork.com, there's a link there. Okay, here's some news. We've got some exciting news. Now, many of you who were members of the New Energy Work will remember that one of the things we launched last autumn was a new thing called Observed Treatment Seminars. And what these were actual clients who actually came in and actually had a treatment. And we had them videoed, and we had like a slideshow on the theory. We had a whole thing on use of points, diagnosis, and everything. They were very popular, and we've noticed that the OTSs that are on the free members area are very popular with you, and lots of people have completed many of them already. We have got some that we haven't released into the free area yet, and we have got some that have never been released that we videoed before COVID, believe it or not. Okay, so we've got a few that we've still got to share with you. This used to be part of the paid for content as part of professional members, and we're going to open it up to everyone, okay? So we've got a case, one of my clients who's agreed, these have all given their consent to have their treatments videoed and their cases discussed within New Energy Work. Please check out our confidentiality guidelines though, because when you're a member, you need to click on the terms and conditions. We have a confidentiality guidelines to protect the clients that do allow us to video their sessions in here. And we ask you not to share any of the video content on social media and to keep it within the New Energy Work e-learning environment, okay, to protect their privacy. But I'm sure you'll do that. Okay, so one of my clients has got Parkinson's disease and he's managing it with Shiatsu. And I've done several, I'm seeing him regularly, and we videoed one, Kat did the videoing, and we're going to do an OTS on that. And what we do is we put it together into we present it in a webinar like this, a live webinar, and then we upload all the material as an online course. Once you register and you sign in, you'll be able to get access to it. And it's like a 5-hour course. By the time we've done the theory, the points, the practical, and the diagnosis and everything. Okay, so that's coming up. We're kind of excited about that. And there's a reminder for me to share the link to it. Okay, so if you want to sign up early to it, don't worry, we will send an email around pretty soon. But if you want to sign up to it earlier than, be one of some of the first to sign up, then you can just literally click on that link there. Okay. Okay, so that's it. Any questions? Let's have a look. I'm just going to have a quick look at the chat and see if there's any questions. We've got 2 flagged up by Kat. How does it work with the certificates? Okay, what happens is you literally just finish the course, and then there's a link and you click it and a PDF is sent to you, which you can then print out and use it as evidence for your hours. Okay, Jonah, so that was a question from Jonah. Okay, that's how it works. We'll try and get it right this time. The certificates are put on at the end once we've actually got all the resources up. So you can't get your certificate before everything's done. Let's have a look. Okay, let's have a look. Fran says, are the videos on my membership page under the ISCO course? They're not showing up. Okay, we'll have a look, Fran. We'll get in touch with you and we'll sort that. Yeah, if you go into the ISCO course, the videos should be all loaded up under each of the presenters' names there. Okay, the ISCO course, if you're already a New Energy Work, and I know Fran is already a New Energy Work member who's done courses before, the ISCO 2020 is actually an online course. It's constructed like an online course. So when you register and you go and you sign in, you'll see it there amongst all the other courses with the globe and the logo and everything. Okay, so I hope that's clear. And don't worry about the OTS webinar if you haven't clicked onto it, because I'm gonna we'll send out an email probably in the next week or two, and so you can sign up for that. We've also got okay, I'm going to we'll sort out the access to the ISCO course, no problem. Thank you, Natalie, for letting us know that. We'll sort it out for you. Okay, so yeah, and we've got another thing coming up which we wanted to share with you, which is we're going to be launching an Quantum Shiatsu course in the autumn, probably in a few weeks' time, and we're hoping to get some guest presenters that study with Pauline Sasaki to present on that. Yes, okay, so good. So we'll get back to work. We'll make sure that all those videos are accessible, and if you have any problems at all, just email us, tell us what's happening, and we'll sort you out and make sure that you can get in and access everything at ISCO 2020. Okay, right, there we are. I think that's everything. So, and I'll just go back onto the chat, and I'm just going to wave goodbye. So, in fact, I just want to say thank you very much for coming on and having a look at the Saturday ISCO videos. And yeah, keep in touch. We're going to be keeping these Tuesday webinars running into the future. We've got small online courses, featured days, and Kat, there we are. Thank you so much, Kat. How about a thumbs up for Kat? She was the one who did all the video editing and got those little videos together. Nothing too embarrassing for me, Kat. No, well done. Okay, great. All right. We'll hopefully see you soon. Have a good evening. Bye.